What's your worst injury you've ever had so far?
For me, honestly, is I've had 2 detached retinas.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And
was one of them for the Leon fight?
no, I had one before that fight. I think it was after, it was from training. I was training one day, and I'm sparring, and then all of a sudden, like, I see, like, black at the top of my eye, and I'm like, rub it, whatever. So I go back to sparring, light sparring, we're moving, we're grappling, and then it's like, it just becomes literally, like, all black.
Oh,
but, like,
Jesus.
you can see it, but it's like a film of black over your eye. And I'm like, what the fudge is going on? And then I'm like, all right, well, let me go to the doctor. And then, like, the doctor just, like, he's like, oh, yeah, we got to go to surgery immediately. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what's going on? What's wrong? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you have a detached retina. You could go blind. And I'm like, you know, you're thinking of Michael Bisping and what happened to him. And you're like, you don't know what to do. So then, you know, we go to I had to go, like, the surgery right away. Because he's like, the longer you wait, you're going to lose vision more and more. So they had to, like, put a bubble in my eye. And then, like, I still didn't know what it was. I'm assuming, like, once he takes the Band-Aids off, I'm be able to see. So he takes the next month, I go in there, get the surgery done. And then, like, the next Monday, I go in there and takes the Band-Aids off. And I'm like, bro, I still can't see. He's like, no, it's going to be, it was like 8 to 12 weeks. You're going to have a bubble in your eye.
Oh.
And you have to, like, hold your head on a tilt like this.
For 12 weeks?
For 12 weeks. And
so you have to tilt your head sideways for 12 weeks?
Yeah, like, you have to keep the bubble in its place. So it, like, lines up the retina. Or, like, seals it back in. And then, you know, the massage tables where you have to put your head down. And those, like, I had to sit on one of those to watch TV with a mirror that was downward. And it was, like, pointing up to the TV because I couldn't look up like this.
Oh,
like, I had to keep my head down. So the pressure's on there.
You had to watch TV through a hole in a massage table?
Dude, it was, honestly, it was, like, the most depressing thing that I've ever gone through in my life. And it was, like, the hardest thing.
Wow.
And it was, like, one of those things, too, where it was, like, I'm not one of those guys that, like, cries wolf or anything. So, like, I kept it to myself. I didn't even tell my parents or my family. I would just, like, go to the house with sunglasses on and see them and then just, like, avoid seeing them type thing like that. So then...
So they didn't even know you had a detached retina?
Well, now they know now from here, but... But, yeah, it was, like, it was rough because you can't do any working out. I'm a guy that works out constantly 2 to 3 times a day. And
so for 12 weeks, you couldn't
12 weeks, couldn't do nothing.
Could you even go walk around the block?
No, I could go walk, but
no elevated heart rate?
Not a lot. Yeah, not a lot.
Wow.
And for, like, the first 4 weeks, it was just, like, I had to stay in this specific position the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, and then, like, you had to sleep with your head down. Like, I'm a back sleeper, too, so I had to sleep with my head down on a massage table, too, like that. Like, I had to stay in that position the whole time. And then 12 weeks period goes, and, like, the bubble just, like, starts shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. So you're always seeing, like, a little bubble in your eye. And then finally, by the 12 weeks, it was done. But then he was just like, yeah, like, I wouldn't fight anymore.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and then you're like, no, I'm going to fight. I don't care what you say type thing. So then I go back to regular training, and I start wearing, like, one of those catcher's face masks to, like, spar in and train in. I'm wearing goggles to train in, roll in. And, like, I just don't know how it's going to react once I go back to sparring and hitting hard again.
How long did it take before you felt, like, confident?
Where the bubble was gone. And then probably, like, maybe, like, 8 weeks into it after that, where I was trying to get back into shape, get it back to the thing, and finally trying to go hard sparring without the goggles on. It was rough.
Do you remember what you got hit with?
No, and that was the thing. Like, I don't remember what specific thing happened to it. It, like, didn't make any sense. But, like, you know, you get poked in the eye sometime during training or anything, but, like, you just don't think nothing of it. So, you know, you don't really go get checked. But, like, I never wondered. So then he's just, like, constant wear and tear on it. So
did, after you got the surgery done, was there a point in time where you're like, hey, I don't know if my career is going to be over here?
That point was during the Leon fight when he poked it and literally I couldn't see nothing. Yeah, I was like, I'm blind. And then you're like, you waited this long to get a main event. You waited this moment and it just got taken away from you and you're like, I'm done fighting.
Well, even worse, maybe you can't see now.
Yeah. Well, in that moment, you're just thinking like, dang.
Right.
Because fighting is my life for me. And I'm like, this is what I want. This, like, my goal is to be right here at the top to be a champion. So just, like, get it taken away from you. I was like, not seeing it second nature. I'm like, man, I can't train. I can't fight. I can't do this. So that was, like, the most heartbreaking thing. And, like, knowing that probably had to go through it again, not knowing what type of surgery it is. The doctor told me not to do it. Like, you should have stopped. What's wrong with you? And you're like, fudge it. But
how long did it take out? I like how you won't even say fuck.
Yeah, that's fair.
How long did it take before your vision came back after that poke?
In the Leon fight, it was like 40 minutes after that. Then I realized that my eye was just like, I had to get like 3 stitches under the bottom eyelid. That's when I realized that my eye was just closed. It wasn't blind. Because I didn't realize my eye was like closed. I was like, bro, I'm fucking blind. I'm like, done. But then they're like,
Right.
the guy's like trying to open like this, and he's like, "Do you see any light?" And I'm like, "I see light, I see light." So then probably when I got back to the hospital, they had to do like stitches in the bottom eyelid, and he was like, "Don't blink." And I'm like having a stitch through my eyes getting stitched.
Don't blink.
Yeah, and I was like, "What the fudge?" It was like the worst thing ever. So then, thankfully, I was just like, it wasn't the detached retina again. I was like,
Thankfully.
I felt blessed.
But you've had 2 detached retinas?
And I had it in the other eye as well.
When did that one happen?
It was after that one. So
Really? After the Leon fight?
yeah, after that one, after the luque fight. I mean, not detached retina. What you call it? My lens was detached.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. So in the third round of the luque fight, he just like hit me, and I was like, I'm in the corner, and I like feel something like weird in my eye, like a shield in front of it, and I was like, what the fudge did it? Like, I felt like I just got like poked, and I'm trying to rub it, and it's the Tate, the cup man. He's like, bro, ain't nothing in your eye, stop playing. And I was like, dude, I feel like something, but I'm like, I still could see a little bit out of there. So I'm like, all right, well, whatever. I'm just gonna keep fighting. So I'm like, I just gotta take him down. And it was like I only had 2 rounds left, and I thought I won like the first 3 rounds. Afterward, I'm like, the doctor's like, oh, it doesn't look like there's anything detached or torn in there. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So then I wait till I get back home, and they were like, your lens, it was like loose. So then I had to have surgery on the lens part of my, yeah.